What's up, dudes? It's Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we're going to look at some college football. We're going to get into Week 10 picks. All right, if it's your first time here, hey, I'm glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching more videos, and if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. All right, let's not waste any more time. Now, today we're going to kind of change things up. We're going to do the picks a little differently. I hope you like it. All right, today we're going to start off with the big game of the week. That's right, we got Georgia, number 8 Georgia. They are heading into the swamp. They're going to number 6 Florida, and this game is going to be a 3:30 game. For some reason, this is kind of where CBS kind of likes to have these kind of big games, these 3:30 matchups, and this one is going to be a slobber knocker there in the swamp. So let's go ahead and let's look at this game. Right now, the line is 6.5 points that Florida's getting. And as I'm looking at this, I'm just kind of liking this game. I think that this game is going to be one that's going to play right into Florida's hands. I just don't think that Florida's getting the credit that they deserve. Yeah, I know that their offense is kind of suspect, and I know that it's not anything great, but I don't think their defense gets kind of the credit that they should deserve. And granted, I know they're giving up a lot of yards a game, but when it comes to points, they're not giving up a whole lot of points. And when I look at this Georgia team is one that we've seen the formula already to beat it. And the fact of the matter is Florida has more talent than that South Carolina team that beat them, and Florida's at home. And when Florida is at home, when they're at home there in Gainesville, the crowd just seems to come around them, and things just kind of go their way. I don't know what it is, especially with it being a daytime game, and that with it, I can just see the crowd just getting really into this one and taking it over, and I just feel like, listen, I know that it's 6 points, and I know that Georgia, they've got all of this talent, but I'm just not convinced in them. I don't really believe that their offense is as great as what said that they are. They just had a crazy game with Kentucky. Did not look good. It was a monsoon, terrible, nasty game. Couldn't do nothing. But even in that, they did not look good at all. Florida, they've shown flashes. And the fact of the matter is they have one loss on the season, and it was against a very good LSU team, and they put up a decent fight against that LSU team. The fact of the matter is LSU had more firepower than they did, and it showed. I just don't think that Georgia has the firepower. I think Georgia's not set up to do that, and the fact of the matter is I think that Georgia gets their second loss of the season here. I'm not even going with the spread on this one. I just think that Florida's going to win. I think Will Muschamp's going to have his team raring to go. That is one of the best front defensive lines for Florida, and I think that they're going to give Jake Fromm some fits. I think he's going to have some issues. I think that the studs are going to be there. I think that Swift's going to have a hard time running the ball. Really for this Georgia team, I don't think that they're going to just get right back up on the horse. After losing the game to South Carolina, just a terrible game last week and not being able to do anything, I just don't. I see that the struggles continuing on, and I see them getting more and more frustrated. And this Florida team, I don't see that with. I see them kind of positioning themselves and kind of knowing who they are. The offense is going to go out and score some points, and the defense is going to keep the other team from scoring, and that's how it's going to be. And I think that Florida's actually going to win this game. So I'll take these 6 points all day long. That's just the way that I feel. I feel like Florida's going to have a nice win tomorrow. All right, let's move on to a 7:30 game. Looking at, now this one is two teams that are pretty good teams, and neither one of them's in the top 25 right now. But we've got the ACC Coastal lead on the line here. We've got Virginia, North Carolina, and if you're looking at it, both teams are 3-2 in the division or in the conference, and they're looking to take the lead right here. This is a crucial game for the division title going into possible conference title contention. So when we're looking at this, we've got Virginia at North Carolina, and that game is at 7:30. And the line is North Carolina is giving up 2 points. The over-under is 47. And as I look at this game, if you know or you've been watching my picks, you know I like Mac Brown. I like his teams. I like the way that this team's playing. This team was not given any credit to really do anything this year. And the fact of the matter is that they've got some talent on this team. Now, this Virginia team is a good team that Bronco Mendenhall has put together. There's no doubt about that. I like these guys. I like what they're doing. I think that they're going to do a great job, and I think continuing on. But I think this game's just going to go to North Carolina. I think Mac Brown's going to sprinkle some of his special sauce on this, and I think they're going to win this game. I think they're going to take the driver's seat in the Coastal, and I think they're going to surprise teams because at the end of the season, you're going to look at their record, and you're going to be like, okay, 7-8 wins on the season, and they win the Coastal. That's just how I look at it, how I see with this North Carolina Tar Heels. They've got a lot of moxie, they've got a lot of spunk, and they got a lot of stuff to prove, and they get that all from their coach, from Mac Brown, and it shows. And they're sneaky good on offense, and I think that that's going to be kind of one of the things that's going to kind of elevate them here. And I think they're gonna beat the Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers are going to, to come into there and kind of not realize just what they've got themselves into. So I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a close game, and I think that North Carolina is going to pull it out in the end. So that's kind of what I've got on that game. We're going to go to the 8 o'clock slot, and I'm looking at number 7. They're coming into the Coliseum, and they are facing the USC Trojans, Clay Helton's Trojan. Clay's got this team kind of in this interesting spot. I actually think he's actually been doing a really good job this year. Just the fact that these guys are banged up. And the Oregon Ducks seem to be kind of hitting their stride. They still are not really there on offense where they really want to be. But the defense is... Again, all around, I think Oregon has really kind of had these big expectations, and I think that we're kind of looking at things as like with Oregon as a glass half empty because the loss to Auburn and what that meant at the beginning of the season. But in all cases, and when you actually look at things and look at like their whole body of work, they're pretty much exactly kind of the team that we thought. Listen, I think that they're probably a 1-loss, 2-loss team, and they're very good, and that's where they're at. I think that because of the way that the Pac-12 is, and Pac-12 is very, very competitive, and unfortunately to their fault, because they're beating up on each other, and they've got a lot of good teams, but not really those great teams that stand out and shine. And they were really wanting Oregon to really be this undefeated team to go and do that, and it didn't happen this year. But I think that they're better than what they're getting credit for. Now, when I look at them going into this game, playing SC at home is a tough slate. Listen, I know that SC's banged up. But they recruit really well. So they got dudes behind the other guys. Do I think that they have the depth as some of the top programs, the top 5 programs where they can just plug and play? No, but I think that they've got talent to where I think that they're going to keep this game pretty close, and I think it's going to be interesting. I think that they're actually going to give this Oregon team fits. They've got a lot of talent when it comes to like the skill position players and that, and so if Slovis can get just a little bit of time to get the ball out, and if they can definitely get their running backs running downhill, get them some get them some holes to where they can get going places. I think that actually USC is going to make this one a game. I think that Oregon is just a tough team, and they try to play with a lot of toughness and do that. But also, I think that USC, they have a lot of talent, and so I think that some of that toughness is going to get negated with the talent, and that Oregon's going to have guys who are just as big as they are on the other side. But yeah, so when I'm looking at this, if you kind of know what I've been picking and what I've been doing, I've been kind of riding USC, and USC hasn't been terrible to me this year. So I'm going to go with USC in this spot. I look for kind of Oregon to kind of have a letdown and kind of open up the Pac-12, especially since the Pac-12 is starting to get a little bit more now that little bit more recognition now that Oklahoma has a loss, and some of these other teams that are have started to get some losses and things like that, to where they're starting to get looked at for the national picture again. And I think that this is going to be a place where Oregon could possibly lose. But I know I'm definitely going to take USC and the points in this situation. All right, that's going to bring us to our marquee game of the week. And if you've been paying any attention to college football is going to be in Memphis. Game day is going to be in Memphis. It's going to be rocking at that place. We have an American Conference showdown. So we got an AAC showdown here with the number 15 SMU Mustangs rolling into Memphis and playing the Tigers. Listen, Memphis has one loss. They got beat by a good Temple team, but they got beat. And right now, if SMU hasn't been doing what they've been doing, we would we would probably be talking about things a little different. But the fact of the matter is we've got an 8-0 team against a 7-1 team, and really the conference is wide open. So when you're looking at this, right now you've got Memphis with one loss in the conference, and you got SMU with no losses in the conference. So this is really the conference lead right here and right now, because Memphis, if they win, listen, they jump above SMU. But if SMU wins, they're in the driver's seat. They're 8-0 right now. And as I look at this game, Memphis is a very, very good team, and they're talented, and we know they've been good for a while. And they, they're kind of one of those better group of 5 teams. There's no doubt about it. And White at the quarterback position, he has just been electric. And Gainwell, listen, he's been one of the best running backs. I know that J.K. Dobbins gets a lot of talk, and I know Taylor from Wisconsin get a lot of talk. But listen, Gainwell's another guy who has over 1,000 yards this season. When you look at things and you start looking at the stats and you start looking at it going down, everything really points to this Memphis team. Their defense, I would say their defense is slightly better than SMU. It's like when I look across the board, you've got guys like, Buechele. He's just, I would say, White's got a little bit on him. When you look at it, Jones, who's been grinding things out for SMU and just been kind of a workhorse for them. Gainwell's got it on him. And, really the big one that they have, and the question mark and possibly that they might have the best wide receiver on the field if he plays. We still don't know if Robertson's going to play. We don't know that yet. They've been kind of mysterious about that, and I think that one is really going to be a huge one for SMU, because I think SMU needs all of their firepower to win this game. I really do. I'm looking at this. I think that they're going to be able to get their points, no doubt about it. I think that that Memphis, I think they're gonna get their share. However, if Robertson doesn't play, then I think this changes the whole dynamic. And, I actually think that it probably makes Memphis probably more like a 10-point favorite as opposed to right now I'm looking at it at about 6 points. So in this game, I'm looking at it. On paper, it doesn't look like it's the underdog's game. It really doesn't. It looks like, that Memphis is going to hand SMU their first loss, and Cinderella is going home. The Cinderella story is done. However, I don't think that's going to happen because this is college football, and college football is crazy. If you pay attention to Thursday night games, listen, one undefeated team has already gone down. Appalachian State was taken down, and I don't think we're gonna lose SMU this week. I think that they've got a neat story that's gonna continue on from out here. I really do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take those points, but I'm also gonna say that SMU is really gonna put themselves up on the pedestal this week because I think they're finally gonna get a quality win, and I think they're finally gonna get kind of some much-deserved respect around the nation as the nation looks on, and I think that they're going to pull off the upset, and I think this magic's going to continue. So, that is the end of my picks. Now, I'm going to do a new segment this week, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give the SMU Mustangs a pep talk. That's right. I'm going to transport myself into the locker room. We're going to go in there and we're going to pump those guys up. All right, let's go ahead and let's do it. All right, guys, listen. I know we come into this building, we got game day here, we got the nation looking at us, and all they want to talk about is the past. They want to talk about Pony Express and all that happened. They want to talk about the death penalty. But the fact of the matter is that this team is not dead. They want to talk about all of the things of the past. They want to talk about us being 8-0. They want to talk about not giving us the respect that we're due because we haven't beat anybody. This is the first time that we've been undefeated, but really we don't deserve it. Yeah, that was then, but this is now, and this is a different time, and this is a different place, and this SMU team doesn't really have it, don't really deserve it. But since we're undefeated, they got to put us there. Listen, boys, if we go out there and we play our game, ain't nobody going to beat us. They can't keep up with us when we're throwing the ball around, when we're running offense. Listen, you guys know what you're doing. I don't need to tell you. The fact of the matter is it's going to be crazy. All eyes in the nation is going to be on this game, whether it be all the tons of people that have rolled in for game day, whether it be all of the 1,000 people in the crowd or the thousands watching at home, maybe millions, who knows? But the fact of the matter is that you guys got nothing to be afraid. People who are afraid don't know what they're doing, don't know what's going to be going on, but you guys know what you're doing. You're prepared. You're ready to go. You're ready to fight. And listen, you're ready to stand for what we've got. The fact of the matter is that they have no clue. We've got a defense that's ready to stop these guys. And listen, we know they've got a high-powered offense, but you guys are ready to play. You're ready to go. I've got full faith in you. You've done everything that I've asked for you this week. You've put in the hard time and you've put in the hard work, and there's no reason to think that anything else is going to happen. They say that it's been luck that we've got ourselves this far. It ain't luck. It's determination. Listen, there's two ways that this game can go. We can either win it or we can either lose it. But listen, I don't see anything on your faces that makes me think that we're going to be losing this game. I think that you guys are winners. I know that you guys are winners. We're winners in this game. Nobody's giving us a shot. Nobody's saying that we're going to win this game. They're saying that we don't have enough firepower, that everywhere across the board that Memphis is better than we are. The fact of the matter is that they're not. And we're going to go out and prove it. We're going to get the respect that's due us. This is our game. This is our night. Listen, the crowd's going to be crazy. It is going to be deafening in that stadium. But listen, all you need is the guy next to you. Look to the guy next to you. That's all you need. You guys need to stand together as brothers as we go out there. Listen, all you can do is you. You're one person. but you know what you need to do. And if every one of you goes out there and does what he needs to do, we're going to go home with the victory. And then we're going to go on and we're going to win the division and we're going to win the conference. That's right. We're going to turn this thing around. When they start to look back and they start talking about the Pony Express and that, they're not going to have to look far anymore where there's going to be a good SMU team. That's this team. They're going to start talking about it now. The death penalty's in the past. This team, you guys are no longer dead. We are no longer a dead program. We are a program that's risen from the ashes. We are a team ready to fight. And listen, we're ready to take out those Tigers. Nobody's going to be taking it away from us. Guys, let's get on in here. Get your hands in here. Let's get ready for this game. Are you ready to go? I know I am. All right, guys, I hope you had a little fun with that. I know I did. I just, it's one of those things where I really enjoyed when Lou Holtz used to do those little pep talks. So I figured, hey, what the heck? I'd go ahead and give SMU my own little pep talk because they got a big game going on, and I wanted to have a little fun with it. Hopefully you guys like me doing that. If you did, let me know down in the comment section. If you didn't like it, let me know too. I'm just trying to have some fun with some things. All right, well, I know that you guys are busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. All right.